We are here.
He was like, "Oh man, this food's so good. I don't know. I might have to get rid of my starting five." That's what he said to me. Now watch this. I said, "I know that's right. I might have to bench mine too."
I have chosen not to allow someone in my space because my business and everything that I have built is more important to me than being out here hanging out with these raggedy ass.
So thank you so much for joining me, James. I really, really appreciate it. I was super excited to talk to you once I found out about In the Black Network, because I'm rooting for all things Black, as Issa Rae would say. So I would love for you, James, to, for those that don't know, kind of go into your journey, how you started your career in production. I would love to know more about you.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So I started in this business as a production assistant for a company called Bradley Productions. And ever since then, I was an entrepreneurial spirit. I'm not the greatest employee in the world, right? So I always had visions of wanting to do my own thing. But throughout that journey, going from learning a lot, going from PA to producer and so forth, in 2006, I launched DuBose Entertainment. And my first show out the gate was the Keisha Cole series that we created for BET. And then from there, it was Tiny and Toya, Monica, Trey Songz, Michael Vick. So a lot of shows held date. And that was great. And to be, totally honest with you, I had no idea that it was going to happen that fast. And I was not prepared for it. I wasn't prepared for it internally, personally, or professionally, because they don't tell you what to do when you get there. They just say you have to drive, right? They don't tell you how to handle it once you get there. And so through a lot of trials and tribulations and ups and downs, I went through a lot of depression and things of that nature, quite honestly. And it was even at my highest, in everything, my career and personally, I was at my lowest. And I say that story because in everything I talk about these days, I want people to really clearly understand that success is not what you may think it is. It may not feel like what you think it's going to feel like when you get there. And if you're not first prepared, the saying goes, being at the right place at the right time. And I just want to add, it's really not about that at all. It's about being the right person at the right place at the right time. Because a blessing given too soon is not a blessing at all. And if you're not prepared for it and how to handle it, you will destroy it. And I'm first in line when it comes to that, right? So with that said, going through that journey, I was blessed to, after taking a little hiatus, I was blessed to start a new series with E called Wags Atlanta. It was their first foray into Atlanta. From there, I went to the EP Dish Nation. And then in March of 2019, Fox had approached me about starting their first OTT platform called Fox Soul. So I was involved in creating Fox Soul from the very start. We did a test in June of 2019. And I was back and forth from Atlanta to LA, pitching that and testing that. Finally, we got it officially greenlit in October 2019 and officially launched January 2020. So with that said, the idea when we first started that was eventually the goal was to have Fox Soul be, if not majority Black owned, all the way Black owned, because we focus on the Black culture. What I did not want to be the Black face in front of this thing where people that are not of the culture pulling the strings behind it. And they promised me that wasn't going to be the case. And to their credit, it was absolutely that for the most part. Business is business. And when you don't own something, they have the right to move how they want to move, and you cannot get upset with that. So as time went on, the economics changed, things started to change at Fox Soul. And so I felt like in January, it was probably the best opportunity for me to get back to my entrepreneurial spirit, get back to my vision. I started thinking about In the Black Network. And I called it In the Black because I wanted to be Black focused, Black owned, and profitable. And so in June, when I left Fox Soul, it actually went into fruition, if you will. And to Fox's credit, to get me started, and based on the relationship that we had, they allowed me to take a lot of the content that we developed while at Fox Soul to get me started within the Black. And since then, I've done a great deal of strategic partnerships with various people to get a lot of content as we start. I know that was a long answer to it, but I wanted to be clear and have an understanding. So
Listen, I appreciate that answer because it helped me learn a lot about being a Black entrepreneur in media. I kind of feel like, I don't want to say we have the same trajectory, but definitely some of the things that you speak on, like not being able to be an employee and how difficult that can be, and dealing with mental health and depression. So with that being said, because I run my own media production company as well, what are some of the things that you do to overcome? Because now you're taking on a huge, not weight on your shoulders, but definitely a huge undertaking and starting your own network, right? So there may be some ups and downs along that journey with, okay, this is going to work, and then it doesn't work, and then you may suffer from burnout and depression, which I just got I'm healing from. So what are some of the ways and techniques that you do to keep a positive mindset and keep moving forward?
well, I mean, the first thing, I go to therapy every 2 weeks, so that's very clear. But the most part is what I had learned through this whole process was to love myself first and foremost. And you can start any business that you want to, but the first order of business that you ever going to run is called You Incorporated. And if you can't run you, there is no business outside of that you will be able to run. You may have success for a minute, but eventually your inner world will create your outer world. If it's chaos inside, you will be chaos on the outside. And for a long time, I was living a lie because the success allowed me to mask what I was really going through. And so, success for me was the worst thing that could happen at that time. So now I wake up consciously through prayer, but loving myself first, loving myself just as I am. Not saying I'm going to love me when I get here. I love myself where I am and not where I want to be. And so that is the first order of business, and no outside noise, people, jobs, success, failures, none of that changes who I am at my core. And that's a constant, work, if you will, because we're all ambitious, right? We're all aspirational. We all have goals and missions that we're trying to set. But if you don't understand the fact that you are enough just as you are, the journey becomes difficult. So through that process, I've learned to actually enjoy the journey. So when there's difficulties, and there are every day, right? I'm dealing with the launch, and there's difficulties every day, but it doesn't change who I am at my core. It doesn't change the love for myself. Whether the whole world doesn't love me, I love myself enough for all of us. And that is the key to me, to my mental mindset, to my emotions, letting me controlling my emotions instead of my emotions controlling me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Now, I noticed that you mentioned, with the launch, there are some challenges every day. So In the Black Network is supposed to launch next month, which is like a couple days away. A couple days away. I don't know if you're launching on the 1st, but definitely in October. So talk to me a little bit more about what challenges you have faced approaching this launch, and how have you overcome them?
So we're launching Monday, October the 2nd. That's for sure. All right. So I mean, but again, even today, I wake up to emails that I have to resubmit to Apple TV, for instance, because there's certain things that they flag. So we have to fix all that. And I think people realize you just don't wake up and say, I have some content, I'm going to start an app. It doesn't work like that. And let's be honest, especially when you're focused on us. Because first of all, you got to have enough content. And it's not just content that just has Black faces in it. It has to be quality, right? I really believe in that. So the challenge is obviously, first of all, getting approval by the apps. And my mission, I think maybe this is the best way to answer it, is I want to be our Black Tubi, our Black Netflix. That is my mission. It's free, but with quality. The business model wise is that quality is what we come to know, and I want to touch everything that we do in the culture. And our tagline is giving you that feeling. And in conversations, people obviously ask, what is the feeling? And I don't have to really explain it. As simple as this: you know the feeling you get when you know you're in the presence of greatness and Black excellence. And that is what we're going to do everywhere we go. It's a universal language. And so if I could do that, and it's going to take time, it's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of prayers and so forth. But, you know, a lot of these companies and other platforms make a lot of money off our content, off our culture. And then when they make that money, they didn't say, okay, we don't need them right now, we're going to throw them away. And in the Black network, will be a place where you can consistently come to get what you need and get that feeling of being proud, that feeling of being supported, and most importantly, that feeling of being heard. So that is my motto, ABOD. It's free. I'm going to give you quality content, because I also believe, you know, the difficult part of this space across the board is ad revenue. Mm-hmm. How do you get agencies and brands to want to spend their money with you? And I believe it's quality. And one thing I've learned in business is it has to be value to value, a win-win. Can't just go ask for things and they don't see the value that you bring into them. So I think the value, first of all, knowing that when our culture say it's cool, then it's cool. When our culture say it's hot, then it's hot. Whatever we say is happening, that's what the world usually follows at some point in time. So I want to give us that. I want to attract, not chase. So I'm going to try to attract the people that want to be a part of what we're doing, because we're giving them quality. And then for the culture, I want it to be free. I want them to be able to log in where they want to, watch for free, watch the quality, and feel proud, and make them say, this is ours. It's not about me at all. This is ours. And I want that message to be loud and clear. This is ours.
This is ours. I love it. I am interested to know, you know, you spoke about definitely creators that, you know, you think coming on to a certain platform or network, they're going to support you and really elevate, you know, content creation of Black voices, but then you find out that that's not happening. With that being said, now that the writer's strike has come to an end, how do you plan on supporting Black filmmakers, actors, writers, and content creators in the Black network?
Well, we want to be the place that is easier to get through the green light process, right? But I also want to caution everyone that's trying to submit things in the Black that you have to have quality. Like, you can't, like some shows I see, somebody walks in the room with a red suit on and they walk out in the same scene with a blue suit on. You can't give us that, right? You have to give us quality content, but the only way we're going to survive, just to be clear, is not content now we're going to do a lot of original content, but there's too many talented creators in our culture that don't get their voices or their vision seen. And it's very important to me and the team that we make sure that happens, because that is longevity. When everyone feels a part, when I said before, this is ours, only way it could be ours is when everyone feels truly represented. And I want people to realize that I'm not doing all this work in vain. There is a place, there is a platform, there is a network that I could go to, as long as I bring them quality, that my content can get heard. So I want to support, first of all, by challenging everyone to be better, starting with us, challenging everyone to have the quality of content that lasts long. And then if you do that, you'll find it very easy to be a part of it.
I love that, because when I tell you that sometimes when it comes to content creating, you're like, why did I even choose this? But then when you have places and people like yourself embracing content creators or people that are striving to really put out high quality material, it feels good to finally, have someone hear your voice. So I would love to know, what kind of stories does In the Black Network plan to tell?
So, first of all, we want to have talent that has a perspective that needs to be heard, that has a voice that needs to be heard, that is not edited or watered down. So anything that we look for, does it inspire you? Does it leave you with an emotion? Does it leave you with a feeling? I just don't want you to be entertained in terms of any story, whether it be scripted, reality, music, whatever the format is. What we look for first and foremost is, what kind of emotion are you leaving us with? Because I believe a lot of people are selling product. We want to sell feeling. Because when you're emotionally attached to something, you come back. So we want stories that entertain and inspire you and uplift you. And when you finish watching anything that's on our network, we want you to walk away like, wow, I'm going to be better. I want to be better. I want to be that. And and it's difficult, to be quite honest with you, because a lot of people just want to be entertained. They want to forget their problem for an hour or whatever the case may be and come and binge watch. But I'm going to stick to this mission because I believe we need that. And I believe there is a place for it where eventually people will accept the fact that, wow, I get to go somewhere that's I'm organically inspired because they're actually speaking to me. So any story has to speak to us in a real, authentic way.
So October 2nd is when your metaphorical baby is going to be born. Talk to me about what viewers can expect logging into the app, or clicking on and tuning in. What can they expect to see? What are some of the projects that is going to be involved in the October 2nd launch?
Well, let me say October 2nd, we launch on Apple TV, the App Store, iOS, Roku, Smart TV, Samsung, LG, Sony, and then the Fire Stick, Android. So I want to be clear that that's where we're going to launch, because my goal is not to necessarily be on every platform, like a Tubi, like a Netflix. I want you to have to download in the Black Network and watch us there. I want to bring eyeballs to that. So I want to just say that, so thank you. So what we're starting off with, we have, like I mentioned earlier, I was able to bring over a lot of the content that I'm not really sure how much people saw that we developed at Fox Soul.
Okay.
With Jeezy, Jasmine Brand, brutally honest with Jasmine Brand, Ministry, which is a relationship show, Mano Kitchen Talk podcast, The Score with Malik David, which is a financial show that we all as a culture really need to understand our credit, how inflation works, all that kind of stuff. And then I was able to do a strategic partnership with Homestead, which has over 800 film titles, as well as we have 8 scripted shows. And one movie I'm extremely excited about is a Nikki Turner movie called On the Run, which is based on one of her books, and we all know how great she is. And then our first original flagship show that's going to carry us is Crown, which is our in-studio talk show with Vivica A. Fox, Selena Johnson, Kendra G, and Chanel Scott. And so that all premieres. You can look for that. So you have original talk, Black women talking the way it's girlfriends out, night out conversations, where we all know women know what that conversations are like, and men want to know what their conversations are like. So that's that, right? And then we have films. Like I started with Nikki Turner, Paper Chase. We have some great films. We have family with Pocket Watch. I did a deal where all the family can watch an animated family programming, like the Fat Albert and things like that we're going to launch with as well. And then some scripted shows. So there's a little bit, which is the greatest blessing in the world, to be able to launch with that much content and that much diversity of content, that I think people will, once you log in, you'll stay.
This sounds amazing. I would love to get your perspective, though, if you don't mind, on the future of streaming and the role of Black content in the future of that, or in that future, and how that looks in your opinion. Where do you think streaming and Black creators how are they going to align? Is this going to be a great thing for them, or are they going to be the ones that kind of suffer through these changes?
No, I don't think we're going to suffer at all. I think streaming is definitely the future. As you can see, linear broadcast, people are not watching as much, connected TVs, subscription, if you will. People just want, what I've learned, people want to be able to watch when they want to watch. They don't want to be told they have to be in front of their TV at 8 o'clock at night on a Tuesday to watch their shows. But in terms of just the Black culture, I think this is actually going to propel us to be able to hear more of our voices. I mean, you also have already Mansa that Nate Parker is doing. You have Zeus, which my brother Lemmy is doing extremely well over there, what his content is. I think the Forest Bios guys are going to be launching their network pretty soon. So I think the fact that, and let me just be clear, in order for it to continue to work, I'm going to make sure I say this right. We have to stop asking Mother May out of fun. We have to go get our own, because you can't expect someone who don't know your culture or respect your culture to help you enhance your culture. So the only way that's going to happen is we do it ourselves. And that is a big reason why I wanted to start in the Black Network. That is a big reason why I applaud all my brothers and sisters that are out there trying to do it on their own, because you cannot tell us we don't have a voice and we don't have just as beautiful minds as anyone else does. But you can't expect them to wake up if they don't live our culture every day and want to be a part of it. We live it. I live it. I love us. I love everything about us. So I wake up with thrill to bring this to the streaming platform. And I think the more we're able to do this, and quite honestly, the more our culture supports networks like this, we will continue to grow and have more of us.
Thank you so much, James, for speaking with me today. I really appreciate it. I saw your story on, I think it was Deadline, and I was just completely moved by it. And it was so weird because for me, I was already kind of like on the search for you. And I'll when we get off, I'll explain what I'm saying, because I don't want to sound like a stalker. But so it was just like, I don't know if the algorithms were aggoring, but I ended up like seeing the article on Twitter, and I was like, wow, how serendipitous. Like the timing is really kind of crazy. And then I was like, this is amazing that he, has done this. And I know that you're going to, really put your best foot forward into this network, especially with your previous experience. So I know you're coming with some gold. I'm excited to see how it unfolds and the success of it. But I want to first say huge congratulations to you, and let viewers know October 2nd, please, whatever you do, go ahead and download it. Apple TV, it's there for you in the Black Network. I think there is some great content that you have in store for everyone, because they're kind of getting some Fox Soul content that did not get the big platform that it should have. To me, it was well deserved. But definitely keep up the great work, and please don't let this be the last time you speak to me and are on the Just in Life website. I love talking to other Black creators and picking their brain and learning about their endeavors. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
No, thank you. I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate it. And this is what you mean. You asked the question. Us supporting each other in a real way is really how we survive. So I'm always willing to talk. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Any last words or anything that you want to say that I did not, ask you in this interview?
Nothing I want to say. I just want to leave a message to your listeners, if you will, that come watch us, but don't watch us because we're Black. Watch us because we are Black excellence, and we're giving you what you need. If we're not fulfilling you, let us know what you need more of, what we're missing, because like I said before, this is ours. And I'm not asking no one to watch this because it's Black owned or Black ran or whatever. I'm watching you to watch because there's no better place to get your content than us. And if we're not providing you with that, don't throw us away. Let us know we can do better, and we will do.